Good morning, boys and girls, students of Buddhist Sunday School and Dharma classes, parents and grandparents, and teachers of Buddhist Sunday School and Dharma classes. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. We are going to have an important lesson titled Learning from Proverbs, Life Lessons for the Young. There is good Dharma from this presentation where you can learn so that you can grow up living very happily and peaceful, because Dharma is very, very important. Now, the text of this presentation are in English and Bahasa Malaysia or Malay, but the narration with the explanation and comments will be done in English, right? Now, as usual, we are going to have this presentation where I go over all the slides. There is a total of 12 slides which contain very important proverbs that can teach us very good life lessons that will help us in our life. This is actually suitable for young ones and actually also old ones lah, because there are old people also that need to learn, right? So as usual, we will launch the PowerPoint. So slideshow from the beginning. So now you see the cover slide, learning from Proverbs, life lessons for the young. Or in Malay, belajar daripada peribahasa. Sometimes they use perumpamaan, but peribahasa is okay. Pengajaran hidup untuk orang yang muda lah. Actually, it can be applied to all. Now, let me take off my video first. Now, we are going to go over all the 12 proverbs one by one, their meanings, and then I will tell you the important life lessons we can learn. Now, let us now go on to slide number 2. Now, firstly, we have to understand what are proverbs. They are actually very short, very nice, catchy, wise sayings. And these wise sayings can provide us, right? They provide useful life lessons for us or advice. And actually, a lot of them are based on common sense and people's experience, Since ancient days, there were proverbs of all cultures and countries. So many of them, they are very, very helpful to help us to live more peacefully. So for parents and teachers, now you have to bear in mind that teaching these proverbs to young ones can help instill valuable life lessons and wisdom. That's very important, isn't it? Life lessons actually also, you can say, can teach valuable Dharma actually. And when we have wisdom, then we'll know what to do so that we won't get into trouble. We will know what is good, what is not good. And this is very important as we carry on in life. And in life, there will be many challenges. You will meet with problems, trouble, conflicts, right? And a person that has wisdom can cope better, right? Otherwise, some would even commit suicide when they have problems like girlfriends running away or boyfriends running away, you see? So now you see how important these life lessons or Dharma are, so that we can learn the important principles of living peacefully and happily, right? So that's just the introduction. So now let us go on to the next slide, which is number 13. Now, number 13, now what does this proverb say? Actions speak louder than words. That is very, very true. But anyway, let me read the meaning before I explain. What a person does is more important than what they say they will do. It emphasizes the importance of deeds over mere promises. That is very, very important. You know, I mean, all the while you will find people who we say cakap banyak. And actually, they don't have very good values or good knowledge, That's why there's another proverb that goes like this. Empty vessels make the most noise. So there are people who will just like to, oh, I can do this, I will do this for you, I will come and see you. All these are words, but they do not carry out the things. I've encountered such people, students as well, right? So you see that people will have a bad impression of you if you only talk, and talk. And then one day, people completely lose trust on you, and then you lose many friends. And this also will carry on until you are an adult when you work in the company. You tell the boss that you will, carry out this project. It's very easy lah. I can get it done by a certain date. But you don't carry this out. Cakap banyak. So how can a person be successful like this, isn't it? More important actually is the action and the deeds. Right? You don't have to go and boast about it or blast all those good things about yourself. What you do, people can see and they can appreciate. They can admire your good actions and maybe learn from you. So if you want to be a model to other people, make sure you do the good actions and not just cakap banyak. So that is this very important message that you need to learn, right? Just now I told you already, empty vessels make the most noise. I think there is a Zen saying, those who speak know not. Those who know don't speak. Actually, if you study deeply, it says that those who really have the Dharma, the truth, they don't have to speak a lot and boast, right? They can show through their actions, and they do not go around boasting or gossip or just empty talk and things like that. That you truly know. Just like a doctor. If a doctor that is very, very competent and very good, he just has to explain in just a few words, and then he carries out the treatment or diagnosis first and then the treatment. Whereas if a doctor talks a lot and all this, but hardly examines the patients and then gives a lousy prescription and doesn't bring about a cure of the sickness. So words, but action minimal and not really good, reliable action. So you can see how important this is, right? This one just animation to show action. Now let us go on to slide number 4. A stitch in time saves 9. Actually, what the proverb literally means has something to do with stitching your shirt or trousers or your dress with a thread and needle. So let us say you find a person finds a tear, a small tear in the shirt or in the dress. Then you quickly try to mend it, isn't it? You maybe, if you can, you use a thread and a needle, and then stitch up so that the tear is tended to lah. If you don't, then what happens is, you will have bigger tears. It will sort of spread to others, One small tear in the clothes can go on to more, and then that time, you have more work to do. So that's why I say a stitch in time. You just catch the problem very fast, solve it, then it will save you a lot of trouble. Now, let us look at the meaning. That is the literal thing of the proverb. Meaning, addressing a problem early on can prevent it from becoming much larger and harder to handle later. prompt action can save a lot of effort in the long run. And that is very true. Now, here, let's say you look at this animated cartoon. You can interpret in various ways. Probably this very good boy, he knows that this pond, garden pond or whatever, has maybe, the larvae of the mosquitoes that can cause dengue fever or some dirt or weeds and so on. So when he sees this, he will take action fast already to help clear the things, clean the thing. This is the animation. Before it gets worse, isn't it? If people like possible are very leceh, they don't take action to pour away the water from containers because they might contain this larvae of the Aedes mosquito. So you don't address the problem early, then what happens? So the larvae later on will become the Aedes mosquitoes and bite the people in your family, and then some of you will get dengue fever, isn't it? So prompt action is very, very important. And this applies for all situations. For a person who is studying, I remember I had one student, right? Now, his task actually is to study very well. Indeed, I was teaching him in Form 6, and he did very well in Form 5, but I saw that he did not address the problems of Form 6 early. That means to study hard, right? And then to do the homework, don't postpone. So I called him up as a form teacher. I told him, you have to address this problem early. Start from the beginning. Now you have to do your work and then study hard. He said, don't worry, sir. Last time Form 5, I studied last moment only. Then I also got all A's. I said, you cannot do that. You won't be able to be successful in this Form 6 as well as later on in life. But he didn't follow the advice. So later on, when the results came out, after he had sat for the exam, he got nearly all the bottom grades lah. Couldn't get to university, got to go overseas and so on. So if you take action fast, then I will save you a lot of hardship and trouble. And this applies to many, many situations. There are people who, don't solve the problem fast, and then, or they try to solve the problem, but in stupid ways lah. Let's say a person already having the symptoms of a disease. It's early, you have to take steps. There's a problem because the symptoms show and the disease may aggravate or become worse. But they don't bother to take the proper action. Some actually take actions, but then stupid actions. They will run from one temple to another before going to see the proper doctors and so on. Then later on, cannot work. The other matters, foolish matters, cannot work when see the specialist. The fella has cancer already. If he had come early, then probably you can be cured, you see. So these are things, early actions are very, very important. Otherwise, later on, you regret. And likewise, also, let us say you are a student and you are doing projects, right? So you know there are problems you have to solve, like, the problem of getting enough data, or maybe photos and all those things. So you say, never mind, wait lah. So you don't address the issue and the problems fast, then last moment already you want to complete your project. Can you do a good job? Right? You might even fail actually, because it's too late for you already. And the problems are not solved. That means you have not got enough data. You don't have enough photos. And then you work through the night. So many situations I can think of, but because of time constraint, I have to go on to the rest, right? So remember, a stitch in time saves 9. So it is a very good proverb with rhyming. Now let us go on to 5. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Very true. Some people, they sort of have the habit. I have done this, so I will get a lot of benefits. I have invested the money, I will get in return 10 times more. No. I have done this piece of work, so the teachers all will definitely like this, and they will reward me. I will have this, I will have that. Counting your chickens before they are hatched, isn't it? Look at the proverb. Let's say, how do you get chickens, right? From the eggs. The eggs that have been fertilized, so the mother hens have to sit on the eggs, all right, until sufficient time elapses, then the eggs will hatch. But not all the eggs will hatch, right? Some, maybe it was not fertilized, or maybe the eggs defect. Anything can happen, isn't it? So the person say, oh, there are 10 eggs, altogether I have 10 chickens, so the birth plan, all those things based on 10 chickens. But when they hatch, only 7. So all the plans go haywire. That is the literal meaning of the proverb. But the real meaning, don't assume something will happen before it actually does. Be cautious about being too confident or making premature judgment, early judgment, when you don't really know what is going to happen. You have to just do your proper work in the present, right? Let's say, I will work hard, right? Well, some count the chickens before they hatch already. They're working hard. It's not hard enough. I will get to the university. I will get the medical course. All counting the chickens before they hatch. And the work actually doesn't really help it, because not enough work or stupid work, not proper studying. So counting the chickens and then give the parents the wrong impression. I will get into the medical course, this and that. But then when the time comes, it doesn't get, right? It doesn't get. And the worst thing is, such people go around and boast to other people, that they will get this, they will get this. I will get 10 A's. Some also boastful, right? Whereas having confidence is difficult, or having the aspiration, I will work hard so that I'll get many A's or something like that. But you work hard and in the honest way. So very likely maybe it can happen. If it doesn't happen because of certain reasons, you also accept. That is attitude, isn't it? So we must be careful of making early judgment or coming to assumptions, assume that, right, if I do this, I will get that. If I do that, I will get the other thing. The actual truth is nothing is certain. The only certainty is uncertainty. So what you need to do is just do your best at the present, and then things will take care by themselves. Naturally, you will follow a course of action, isn't it? So when you think about this, it's very, very important. And sometimes people, because they don't know enough of the data and the life lessons, so they start counting the chickens before they hatch. Like, for example, a family, the head of family wants to plan the budget for the family. So maybe he invests, puts money in a certain business concern and so on. And then, so I will get so much, I will get so much. So now he's already counting the chickens before they hatch. Maybe the company that you invest into may collapse also. It's not being negative, it's being practical, right? You just hope for the best, it's okay. So you have to be careful about that. Otherwise, you will regret where things do not go according to your plan, isn't it? So it's quite a useful proverb. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. So that is this slide number 5. It says the picture shows about the chickens. Right. Now let us go to number 6. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Where is Rome? Rome is the capital of Italy, a beautiful place, very culturally rich. And then, of course, you have heard of Roman Empire. There have been so many movies, great movies, And in Italy, you have Rome. And then within that city itself, you have another small country called the Vatican City, where you have the Pope. I went there once, and then it's a beautiful place, like the Vatican City, and then you have the beautiful church, things like that. So, of course, in any country that you go to, or in any town, right, they would have their cultures, they have their traditions. So the wise person will try to know or learn about the cultures and traditions. In certain places, you find they have certain beliefs. Yes, they are beliefs. So when you are in Rome, then do as the Romans do. In other words, follow their cultures or their traditions. Now let me read the meaning first before I elaborate. When you are in a foreign or unfamiliar environment, it's best to adopt the customs and behavior of the locals to avoid causing offense or misunderstanding. Isn't it? That is very true. Let's say you, like for example, visit an Islamic country, you know the culture or you know the beliefs of the religion. You must not just, wow, some ladies I've seen, even in Malaysia, you have these ladies visiting the holy places, like the mosque or the church or the Buddhist temples. So actually, it is common sense actually. It is expected. You have to respect the religions. They have their traditional custom and beliefs because they have also reasons, right? So you find these ladies, wow, some of them wear hot pants, and then what do you call it, low cut, things like that. No. So in certain places like the church and so on, if these sort of people who are not properly dressed come into the place of worship, the church authorities will provide them with a sarong or with another dress and so on. So you get into trouble and people don't have a good impression of you, isn't it? You might say, why so fussy, right? This is freedom, Yeah, but then you are interacting with people of different traditions and cultures. Surely you want to live in harmony with other people. You can't always just do the things you like. You have to do the things you ought. And wisdom tells us that when you are in a certain place with their own cultures and traditions, you have to find out about them, right? You find that some people don't, they go around the bad habits of, speaking very loudly, and then also spitting here and there, urinating also, I've seen in India also, urinating here and there. So all these, you find create bad impressions, and the effect is on you. People will have a low opinion of you, or people will have a negative impression of you, and that is not good karma. When negative thoughts impinge on your mind, right? From other people, that is not good. When people think well of you, they like you, this fellow, wow, very well behaved, cultured, and he's so respectful, everything. Wow, you like that? You have good vibes, you get the good karma actually also, isn't it? I remember, in one of my visits to India, the pilgrimage, there was my third visit. So there was one thing I didn't know in the culture. Actually, in the Buddhist culture, it should be like this. So we visited a temple, a Buddhist temple. So then we take out the shoes. It's proper for we take out the shoes. All right, so on, we take out the shoes. But I did not know that is the culture, right? That your shoes should not point towards the Buddha image in front. So I didn't know that. But luckily, we had a very good leader, the guide. The leader told us, he said, Brother, it's the culture of these Buddhist places here. Actually, many places should be like that also, that we should not point it directly as a sign of respect. Right? So I said, oh, very sorry, I didn't know that. So I immediately changed the position of the shoes. And since then onwards, I never repeat that mistake. We learn. So when you are like this, then you find people relate well to you. People will say, wow, this person is very mindful. He is respectful of other people's beliefs. So you find you have to know all this, isn't it? You can read a set of books called Culture Shock. different countries, they have their different ways and so on. So you must learn, like even in the culture of eating, right? Some have very, very bad habits, right? They talk loudly, and then some even worse, they smoke, and there is an offense in that area, and yet they do it. So how would people regard you? And if it goes against the local laws, you can be charged, but they don't care. The basic problem is people usually want to please themselves only, right? They think of themselves only, and that is not good because you are relating with other people. If you are living all alone on an island, then it's different. You are alone. So in order to live in harmony with other people, with the environment, and when you are in harmony with the environment, with the other people, you also will have peace in your mind, isn't it? You will have this harmony with other people scold you, other people show you angry faces or monkey faces or say certain words to you. How would you feel in your mind? It will feel good, isn't it? But one point I want to say is this. Now, suppose in the country, so they have this custom of maybe killing an animal and then praying because that's your belief. And you don't have to go and follow that one. It's their religious belief, right? Or, in a certain culture, like I remember when I visited Sarawak once, I went to the longhouse. So it's the culture of the Iban people. At night, you have some, games, indoor games and singing and dancing and so on. So it's the culture there to take liquor, very strong liquor, tuak, right? So they came to offer me, but I don't take liquor. I observe the fifth precept, I don't take the liquor. But this becomes a tricky situation. But I could get out of it quite easily. I tell them very, very politely, very sorry. I cannot do it because my doctor, very great doctor, advised me not to do it because of my health and so on. I spoke in Bahasa Malaysia lah. I'm not lying because when I say my great doctor, I mean the Buddha lah. The Buddha gave the 5 precepts, right? So then I say I don't mind doing other things like even singing or dancing. I think boleh. Encik boleh menari lah. I asked me to dance the Iban dance. I will follow and do lah. But I wouldn't take the tuak because I've seen some after that. They became a bit tipsy already, a bit drunk already. Lose your mindfulness, quite strong one. So you see, you have to use your wisdom. But most of the custom actually, they are just custom and you can follow, no problem. Right? So that's a very interesting thing. Now let us go on to slide number 7. Honesty is the best policy. I think this is one of the most famous proverbs. I've done stories based on this. The most famous of which, you remember the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? The boy who cried wolf, I think you know that story. Bluffing, not being honest. No wolf coming, and he was standing to the sheep. And then he was, oh, help. Wolf is here. So the village people nearby, not very far from the place where he was, tending to the sheep in the meadows, feeding on the grass. The sheep feeding on the grass. So the people, the adults, the farmers and all those things came out with all their, not really guns, right? But the chankula, the spade and all those things. And then after that, he laughed, he was actually lying. So when the person is not honest, he can lie, he can cheat, he can swindle, he can con people, isn't it? So today, the world is filled of dishonest people, cheating, con people. That's why you have so many losing the money. They are not careful and wise, right? The world is filled with a lot of people who are not honest. So, and when you practice the precepts, if you are not honest, which means you break the second precept. You cheat, you steal, you swindle people, you con people, you have been not honest, isn't it? You cheat people by telling lies also. And of course, the fourth precept is not to lie. So you're breaking 2 precepts. And if you break these 2 precepts, they will have their consequences. you will face the dukkha, either later on in life, especially when you can cheat in the business or you swindle people, you can be caught and jailed, you know. But let's say you are so lucky you escape, so-called lucky lah. But karma, you cannot escape. So a time will come, if not in this life, in the next life that you are born into, then you will face a dukkha. Right? Then you find, even you were born a human being, you find often people will be cheating you, will be lying to you. You know, you find some people always lie to one. People will lie to them one. Sometimes you wonder why. Or maybe you are a tauke nectar. Your workers always want to cheat you. You know? Whereas other taukes, they have the workers are very, very honest, isn't it? So sometimes it has something to do with the karma thing. You know? I wouldn't say all things are due to karma, but this karma is a very important thing. So remember that telling the truth is always the right thing to do. Being honest builds trust. Yes, people trust you, people respect you. Who likes a person who always lies or cheats, right? Or tak boleh harap. He tells the things, but he's not really telling the truth. So I think I don't have to really elaborate more because it's a very simple one and most of you know it from the different stories I posted also. So now let us go on to slide number 8 now. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you think you can and you want it, it can happen. If you say I cannot, then it cannot happen. So it's very important that human beings have this very unique quality of a will, a volition, where we can decide to do a certain thing. Can even be a bad thing. You know, some people have a terrible sort of character. They always plan and they have the will to cheat or to rob the bank or maybe to burgle a house lah, right? Or to to even kill, right, for money lah. So when you have that dressing or you have that determination, keazaman lah, right? You will azam, you say I can do it. Then you will find a way. So this is very important in all phases of life, both in your ordinary life as well as in the Dhamma practice. Now let's take the ordinary world. So you have a project given to you. Now a person who is very pessimistic, negative, very, very difficult, how to do it? You see, you start off very badly. You must have the attitude, I can do it. If I don't know certain things, I will find out. I will ask, I will read, and now with the internet, it's so easy. Google or YouTube, they can even show you very clearly, right? People say, I cannot I cannot bake a fruitcake one, I cannot. There's no will to do it. So simple, you just have to Google now, or easiest you go to the YouTube and they show you every step A to Z. Right? Even somebody who doesn't know anything about cooking, you follow that, can do. So fantastic now, isn't it? So it's very important about your mind, right? So if you are determined enough to achieve something, you will find a solution or method to accomplish it, to achieve it, to gain success, right? To get the goal, to get the objective realized, because you have this good mindset of determination and you exercise your will, I can do it, and you diligently will pursue it, right? But the important thing I want to warn you is that make sure that what you decide is something positive and good. You say, oh, I can actually rob a bank one. I can plan it. There's a way. All this, I can make a bomb. That sort of volition. That means the intention and the volition to do something unwholesome that can harm others and also actually harm yourself eventually, in a matter of time. Then you must check that. Don't let that happen. So now we are addressing the thing of positive intention, right? Good thoughts. So like for example, you are practice meditation. Let's say I encourage them, you come and learn meditation. Brother, I cannot meditate one. My mind always runs. Then I say, brother, whose mind doesn't run? Everybody has a mind that is like a monkey that also runs, but there is a way. that we can, so you see, start off with the wrong sort of motivation, a wrong sort of attitude, so that is not good. Whereas a person with the right attitude, then he has a will, I can do it, I will try. And then you will learn a lot of things. There's a way, right? There's a way. So you find in the practice also the same thing, in the Dharma practice. So if you don't have the intention or the will to do this very important thing of life, then you will learn to regret it later on in life. Because that is the greatest treasure of the Dharma, isn't it? So you remember this very well, then you know, always be positive. If I decide I can, then I will find a way and I can do it. If you already decide, no way, I cannot do it, I'm not as smart as you, or some will say that, that sort of thing, then how can you achieve success? If you look at the history of the scientists or the great people like the authors or sportsmen and so on, they have that very strong will. I can run the athlete, I can run the 100 meters in less than 10 seconds. He has that strong will intention. Of course, he has to train. So there's a way. Maybe he has a coach, right? Will help him on the techniques and so on. And he will achieve it. And he attains a success. He might even win the gold medal in one of the international sports games and so on, or even the Olympics. So it's very important, your will, right? Your keazaman, right? And I just remind you that it has to be a good intention and good thoughts only. So that is this very important thing. Now let us go on to number 9 now. Now number 9, no pain, no gain. A very, very simple thing. That is very, very true, Many people think that they can get success by just praying. They run from one temple to another, right? And thinking of a shortcut. They ask the monks or they ask the priests or what, or pray for them, chant for them. I'm not saying you cannot ask people to pray for you. I'm saying that if you don't put in the effort, the struggle, the energy to experience some pain, of course, whatever you do, whether you are studying or whether you are working as a professional, you think you don't have to put in the effort and energy, then you can get the rewards. It's stupid, isn't it? Common sense. But unfortunately, many people are living a life where they don't experience pain. I mean, very little pain, but they expect to get a lot of things. So that is silly. Success often requires hard work and perseverance. Hard work is that thing called diligence. Without the diligence, you can't really attain success. And perseverance means to go on and never quit. So you very often you have to endure. In fact, in whatever you want to do, you will have to endure some pain, hardship, so sacrifice, maybe your enjoyment and so on, in order to achieve your goal, isn't it? Let's say you have a goal, you want to, do very well in your exams, to get all A's, that's your goal, let's say it's okay lah. Then you must be prepared to sacrifice and endure difficulty, isn't it? To sacrifice maybe some of your favorite TV programs, to sacrifice the time you with your friends, to do your project and work. All this will cause some discomfort and pain, isn't it? But in the end, you get the reward. You're successful, and that will lead you on to a good future. You see, the wise thing is the person who is wise, he is prepared to have some hardship or suffering first, and then later on you will have the sweetness, you will have the good things, the reward, the happiness, the joy, the pleasures. But today I find a lot of people, they are not prepared to do that. They want to have fun first, pleasure first, right? So then you find you just concentrate on this first without the hard work, then what you're going to have will be dukkha. So you find the worldly ways of many people, we are fun, pleasure, happiness first. Then you find you get they hope to get the reward later only, but you get dukkha. Whereas the people who are wise people or the holy people, they are prepared to sacrifice, they are prepared to endure some hardship first. Like meditation, you have to bear with the pain, right? The discomfort, to sacrifice the time, and then a lot of, effort, struggling with the mind and so on. But slowly you make progress. Wow, you attain things which are even better than all the happiness or pleasures of the world. So that is a very good point, No pain, no gain. There's a Japanese proverb. I think it's a Japanese proverb. He that wants the fruit must climb the tree. Climbing the tree requires some effort and some energy, some hardship. Then you get the fruit. You think you just sit there and then just pray, fruit come down, Can? It cannot, isn't it? So in whatever we do, just like the picture shows you, the person wants to be fit, right? Or he wants to train for a sport tournament or contest or whatever. So he has to endure some pain, isn't it? To exercise also, you require to put in the energy. But of course, you also enjoy it. But you sweat also, some discomfort, isn't it? And you get tired. But you're going to get the rewards. You'll be more fit and healthy. And you might even win the medals in the international competition. This picture is trying to show you that. No pain, no gain. So that is a very important point for you to consider. Now let us go on to slide number 10 now. Look before you leap. That is very important. Lihat sebelum Anda melompat. People do things without thinking. Many. We should think and then speak or act. But many speak and act, then only think. The thinking will be regret because maybe you have done something unwholesome or something wrong, or you have spoken wrong words and so on. So it's very important to think carefully and consider the consequences before making a decision or taking action. Now, these two pictures are very interesting, you see. This fellow did not think carefully and be mindful and study the environment, and then make the leap already. You get into a muddy pool, if it is a quicksand, it will be very dangerous, isn't it? He doesn't think that. So I've encountered situations where students are like that. I remember one of the incidents when we brought some students to Penang, right? It was in Gurney Drive many years ago on the trip. So there was this, I think, Form 2 or Form 3 student. His heart was good, right? So you're walking along the Gurney Drive. So, there is, a depth. You find that there's a walls or thing. And beneath, you have the rocks and then the beach, you see? Right? So one of his friends' slippers fell down, fell down that, quite a height, but not to the extent it can kill you, if you. The fella without thinking, never really look before the fella leaps. He immediately jumped down to go and get the slipper or the shoe of that friend, Luckily, he did not, get injured by falling onto a rock or landing on the rock, no. Luckily, otherwise it would be terrible, isn't it? Things could, unfortunate things could happen, accidents could happen. Actually, there's a stairway, there's a steps downwards. You didn't want to go and use the step, just jump down without even thinking carefully. And then of late also, I encountered also one of my friends, right? So, getting out of the car, you got to be mindful and so on. Maybe thinking of something, or maybe watching or looking at the SMS message, right, of the mobile phone or whatever lah. So never look at the ground and then coming out of the car. So what happened was, the ankle got twisted, right? Injury, fracture of the ankle, how many months of action, you got to, go and see the specialist, and then, you can't walk, you have to have a walking stick and so on. So this is a very important thing, to look before we leap. And when we look, we have to think, we have to be mindful, consider the dangers. Otherwise, there will be many things you regret that you do because you were not careful, you were not mindful, you did not think, you did not look before you leap. You find the other picture also. This fella, or maybe he, he did not study the thing carefully. Wow, or to just leap, or in this case, you try to walk, the sinking area there. All these are just to show the important thing. So that is this slide number 10. Now we have to go on to number 11 now. Slide number 11. A friend in need is a friend indeed. And this also is a very common saying. And I posted various presentations already on friendship, how to get good friends, right? So, in the Buddha's teaching, right, there's this term of the Kalyana Mitta, which actually means a spiritual friend or a very good friend. So I posted all the qualities which I would not go over now, right? Because nowadays you have a lot of lousy friends, not really true friends. They are your friends when you have money. They are your friends when you are very famous and popular. But the moment you lose your money or you are no longer famous and so on, you find they are not there already. Many like that. So it's not easy to get good friends. So if you have a good friend, the meaning of this proverb is this. A friend in need is a friend indeed. That means a true friend is someone who supports and helps you in times of difficulty or need. That is a very, very good thing. A true friend, isn't it? Whatever situations you are in or what, he will stand by you. Whereas a lousy friend will be when you are in a position to help him or he can get something from you, he'll be there. But if you are no longer able to give him something, he's not there. Right? So you have to be careful. I have also posted on the ways of choosing a good friend. As the Buddha also said, a Kaliya Mitta will be very essential to help you walk the path, the Noble Eightfold Path, because it gives you all the support, encouragement. When you can even give the advice because he's knowledgeable also, he's wise, he's morally upright, he gives his precepts, he's very kind-hearted, all the good qualities. But the same thing now also in our everyday life, it will be good to find such friends. You don't want a friend who runs away where you are in need. Isn't it? I know you interact with so many young people who taught for more than 35 years or 40 years. All types. Very difficult to find one who really shows gratitude. I mean, I don't expect this, but actually it's good. Like, for example, if somebody has helped you, all these have to show gratitude, isn't it? Right. So, but I have some, they're really good friends, right? They're very good friends, apart from being students. Even last time also, I consider them as good friends also. And that time I was very young, just starting teaching. So in the classroom, okay, I am the teacher and they are the students, and they are very, very nice. So outside of the classroom, we will go outings and so on. They are my friends. So then you try to show the good quality so that you can be regarded as a model for them. If you are lousy smoking in front of them, saying all the bad words, all this, that is terrible, isn't it? So that is this thing you have to be very careful about. Anyway, I wouldn't want to speak a lot on this friendship because I have done a few posts, right, and including also stories about best friends and so on. You can check. I like this particular picture. Even animals. I've seen some video clips where the dog and the cats are supposed to be enemies. People will say, "Oh, dog will always fight the cat." But I've seen so many where the dogs are good friends of the cats. So in this case, I don't know whether it doesn't look like a dog. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is kindness can be even shown in the animal world, right? So a friend in need is a friend indeed. This is what I see, feeding the blood with the bottle susu. Very cute, right? So, and actually, this is important when we apply it as even all the spirits, all the devas, you show that you are a friend. You have kindness for them. Then no harm can come to you. If you always regard, oh, this spirit is an enemy of mine, or this particular ghost is an enemy of mine. So you have negative thoughts about them, then it attracts negative things. You must have the metta for them. That's the important thing. So now let us go on to slide number 12. Don't judge a book by its cover. Many people do. Wow, this person so handsome he drives a Ferrari You look at his clothes, you look at his Rolex watch. Wow, they judge things based on the appearance, but they don't know that he's a crook. He may be doing immoral ways, cheating people to get the wealth. He may be a drug smuggler. But today, the world is like that. Many, you find, these ladies here, very important to marry a person. I have to make sure that he has a house, he has a big car, he has a lot of money in the bank, all this. Then he judges that person as somebody very good to marry. They forget about very important things in the character. How is his moral conduct? Does he break all the moral precepts? You find that's why today you find the rate of divorce is frightening. 4 marriages, one ends in divorce. And another one already breaking down. So probably about 50% only can be considered successful. Why? Because they are judging by the cover. They don't really know the contents of the book, right? This is a very good problem, though. Because there may be more to a person or situation than what meets the eye. That means what you see. And most people will be attracted by just the physical beauty. They forget another problem, that beauty is skin deep. It's a saying, a quotation, I think quotation. Beauty is skin deep. You see on the surface, very, very pretty or beautiful, this lady, right? But then as the years pass by, you find the fellow will age, so the fellow will have to dye the hair and then go and do cosmetic surgery to make the skin smooth, to make the eyelashes better, and the nose better. All this, you find the end, also you cannot solve the problem. You're going to age, you're going to die. And your character doesn't change. And you don't have enough good deeds or good karma to support a future good rebirth. So don't you think that is really foolish? I'm not saying you cannot beautify yourself or things like that, but you must also balance with the other things or good moral qualities you have to develop. It's sad to say, it's very lacking today. So remember, don't judge a person just by physical appearance. You see the person so shabbily dressed, or he doesn't drive a big car, then you have a poor opinion of him. But he may be really a saint, right? Maybe a Narayana. You'll be a saint, right? The character is so good. I've told you about the story of the hunchback of Notre Dame. Physical appearance so very, you can say, ugly, a hunchback in the church. And the beautiful lady comes to the church to pray and then encounters him. So the first appearance, the lady, like, finds it very repulsive, doesn't want to get near. But over time, this hunchback became very, was somebody very, very kind, with all the good qualities, until in the end, to cut the story short, the beautiful lady, a girl, a woman, falls in love with the ugly hunchback because of the inner qualities which are beautiful. And they marry and they live happily ever after. That's a fairy tale. In the movie there, you can see a very nice one. Okay, now let us go on to slide number 2. Practice makes perfect. Yes. You think the Olympic winners can get the goal without sufficient practice? In whatever we do, right? Practice is very important. I think it was the Dalai Lama that said that, you want to be successful in your Dharma practice, I give you one advice only. Practice, practice, practice. Just all. 3 words, practice, practice. I think it was him who said, right? So, consistent effort, consistent, the word, which means must always do it. I already practiced 1 week, but the blood rested for months. How is it that I never improved in my marathon racing time, or I never improved in my academic work and so on. It must be consistent, and repetition, a very important word. And that applies to all things. You want to learn a skill, or you want to excel in the sport, you must practice the same thing again and again through the advice of your coach, maybe, if he's a professional athlete. Then only you can get improvement and excellence in the skill or task. Now look at Dharma practice, right? Some people say, hey, brother, you did a sharing of meditation. I've done for 1 month already. Nothing. I never get nothing. Wow, 1 month, they say my mind still runs. People have been practicing for years. No, that depends on your past karma. Some very past, isn't it? So you're not patient, you're not enduring, and you always aim at something only. So in the end, you give up. Of course, we must go on practicing. Look at the Buddha as a Bodhisattva, how he struggled for 6 years, practice. Sometimes certain matters wrong, then you change it until you became enlightened. You think the Buddha just sat down and then, become enlightened? No way, isn't it? And then some even have very foolish ideas, right? They want to have, very fantastic scores in the exams. So, very busy. What they do? Even parents go to the temples during the exam period in Korea or what. Temples all crowded because they go and pray for the great success of their children to get to the universities. And some stupid students, they think they can get the success by getting all the charms or holy paper or whatever. There's no use. Actually, it's a consistent effort in the studying, diligence, perseverance, all these qualities that will ensure you the success. So you must remember this very important point. Otherwise, you cannot be successful in whatever you do. As a student, as also maybe a person who is working in the company or graduated out already, or even let's take the very important thing of Dharma practice. Sometimes people just practice that, brother, I've already donated, I donated 3 times already. But you say that if you practice Dharma, then, you can get rewards of money and so on. Oh, yeah, I didn't say that. I say that the practice of Dharma, the vipaka means the result is to have the happiness, right, of letting go, and then the rewards can come later in the life or future lives where you can be born into a wealthy family. And that was what I said. So he thought that, I practice 1 month, I'll get this. I practice 2 months again. It's all the wrong idea. You just go on practicing the dana without expectation, things will happen. It follows the law, the natural law, right? So that is this slide number 13. Now let's go on to 14. These are you can say the most important of all the things, all the proverbs to me. What goes around comes around. This is actually the law of karma, right? Or you sow what you reap what you sow. That means you plant rambutan seed, you get rambutan tree and the fruits. You don't get durian, isn't it? You plant the beans or you get the tauge and all those. That is this idea. Basically, I've done many posts on this. In summary, it says, do good and good comes to you. Do bad and bad comes to you. Or good begets good, bad begets bad. Right? And this one shows a very interesting lesson. Right? This fella wants to harm that dog. He wants to throw that dog into the river or the lake or whatever. And who is the one that kena the suffering? He himself because of certain motion that the dog did not go to the waters, but instead he lost his foothold and he fell into the river himself. Immediate karma, instant karma. That really happens sometimes. There was a case where 2 friends went hunting, and we know hunting is not a good habit because you are killing another being, and then suffering for the family of the monkey or the wild boar and so on. So 2 of them separated, and then they had the gun and so on. And then what happened? One of them shot at the friend because he thought that it was a wild boar. So you see, this is what we call instant karma. Because the friend who was shot at was also killing other animals, right? So he shot it, so he also got a short life already, because he gave short lives to the animals he was hunting. And this person who shot will suffer, because he will feel regret, remorse, very sad, isn't it? And don't know, later part in life, he may get it. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately. And then some people think, as you have the I don't know whether it's a proverb, say, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You do this to me, I will do that to you. You plug out my left eye, I'll plug out your right eye. That sort of thinking, you find it doesn't solve problem. It will cause you dukkha. So revenge is not the answer. Many people think, wow, I take revenge, everything will be good. Then the world will be very peaceful. It's not like that, What goes around comes around, and that important meaning, good deeds will be rewarded and bad deeds will be punished. Matter of time. If it doesn't happen in this life, in the future lives, it will happen. So you have to be very careful of the law of karma. I've done many posts on karma, including stories and other aspects. So if you're interested, you can check on the playlist and the titles. Some of them in Hokkien, but then there will be always English words and Chinese words or Malay words. So this is a very important thing for you. So remember that all Buddhas teach this only. Do good, avoid evil, purify your mind. And you do good, good will come back to you in one way or other. A matter of time, you have to be patient. Sometimes it may be future life. Some people have no understanding. This very good friend. I have lots of good friends though. Very good friends, morally upright, doing a lot of dana, a committee member in the association, and then at nearly hardly 50, I think, struck by cancer, and the end passed away. So people don't understand, they lose weight. They say, how come the person so good? But they don't see the whole picture. We are not only having this life, we have lived for so long already. How much of the bad we have done, so we don't know. We have done good and done bad, right? So sometimes the so-called unwholesome karma or the bad karma comes out in this life, right? Because of the past karma. But then he's doing a lot of good, so he will be getting good things in the next rebirth. So it's very fair, isn't it? It's not the God that determines it. That God, why does God take the person's life away just like that? It's just cause effect over a long period of time in the rounds of rebirth. When you understand that, you can accept this point of why sometimes bad things happen to good people. And conversely also, why sometimes good things happen to terrible people, smugglers corrupted politicians everything. Why? This also is answered by the same way. We are only looking at this life only. What about the past life? But then even the person doing a lot of bad and still getting but what is to come, do you know? Before he dies, the future lives. When you understand this, then you accept it and you live a life the best you can, doing all the good. So now we come to the end already. That is like the... I just sum up what good proverbs can teach us. We have done 12 proverbs. I've chosen these 12 simple ones, which there are many good ones of different cultures. I've written a lot on the proverbs in some of my books. So good proverbs can teach us life lessons, or you can say Dhamma. Yeah, so much Dhamma we discussed just now, right? And these are also life lessons that will help us to lead our lives more happily and peacefully. And practicing the Dhamma well, or you want to say practicing the life lessons well, also okay. Dhamma is everywhere. It cuts across all religions, all races, all cultures, you see. Things as they truly are. The laws of nature, Dhamma, you can do that. You live all this Dhamma very well, then your suffering will go down, will lessen. So that is the presentation for today. I hope you all have learned important life lessons from just reflecting on the Proverbs. Before we say sadhu 3 times, I hope you can understand. I try to put it in a simple way because the presentation is directed at Sunday school, Dhamma classes, and all the younger generation. But that does not mean the adults cannot see. In fact, many of the friends who are adults already professional, they say they like the Sunday school presentation because you can easily understand the Dhamma, right? The messages. So to all the students of Buddhist Sunday School, as well as all the youth members, parents, grandparents, and teachers of Buddhist Sunday School and Dhamma classes. So I say thank you and sadhu to all of you because you have taken time to follow this presentation more than 1 hour and also have put in energy and also try to maintain the mindfulness and concentration so that you can understand, and hope that you find this useful and can share with all people you feel can benefit. So I say sadhu to all of you. So let us now put our palms together and say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. To all of you who have been watching this presentation, may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. And may you always continue to learn, reflect on, and practice the Dhamma. Thank you.